Hey, if you're not doing anything right now, you want to do me a favor? Please subscribe. At the moment that I'm recording, I've got the count here, 692,290 subscribers. That'll give you some idea of how long it takes me to record and then post videos. But if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I am knocking on the door of 700,000. I'm only here because of you. A lot of times people, they think they're subscribed because they watch the videos all the time, but that's just YouTube doing the heavy lifting and delivering my content. So please, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it very much. Let's talk about the stakes in this election. They couldn't be more stark. They couldn't be more grave. What is at stake? So much so, and it's not just me who's recognizing it, there are Republicans who are turning their backs on Donald Trump because they see the writing on the wall. They understand the existential threat that is posed by him to our very democracy, and they're going on the record to say as much. Mesa, Arizona, apart from Phoenix and Tucson, is the largest city in Arizona. I guess that's a roundabout way of saying it's the third largest city. Dumb shit. Maybe I don't deserve your subscription. So it's in Western terms, it's less populated on the West Coast. It is a pretty big city, over 500,000 people. And they have a Republican mayor named John Giles. And John Giles went on CNN yesterday to talk about the fact that he is publicly supporting Kamala Harris and her candidacy in the 2024 election. That's a big deal. It's not normal or common even for members of the opposite party to support the other party in a presidential election. Usually it is said that this is the most important election of our time, and the parties stay within the framework that they have set for themselves. That's not what's happening here. In fact, there are multiple people who are publicly against Donald Trump. This guy is not a never Trumper. He got elected by Republicans in a Republican area. Arizona is largely, it's turning a little bit more reasonable, electing Democrats to statewide office. But, it's traditionally, it's been a MAGA stronghold, a Republican stronghold. So watch this clip from John Giles, and then let's talk about it on the other side.
Let's talk about the why. Why you are supporting Kamala Harris and rejecting Donald Trump, who is a Republican. What is the reason that you find her to be the preference and the preferred candidate over even Trump?
Well, I think that there's a minimum bar for elected officials in this country, and having to do with character, having to do with commitment to the rule of law and the Constitution. And I don't feel like Mr. Trump gets over that low bar. And at the same time, I do think that the vice president is a good alternative. The contrast between the two of them is stark, and President Trump does not compare well. There are many issues that, again, being a Republican, I differ with the vice president on. But what, to me, is the compelling reason to support her is that I don't question that at the top of her agenda is what is in the best interest of the United States. I honestly can't say that I think that's the case with Mr. Trump.
That is a statement talking about character, commitment to the rule of law, and the very Constitution that Republicans talk about loving. I have here on my desk at all times, well, actually multiple copies of the Constitution. And I use it as a prop like they use it as a prop. I actually do hold dear, though, my oath, my commitment that I swore to this document to support and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And when the domestic threat arises, that vow, that oath, that affirmation is even more important to me. But that statement, I don't question that at the top of her agenda, Kamala Harris's agenda, is what is in the best interest of the United States. Stated plainly, stated directly, and to his own political peril, There's a risk. That should tell you everything you need to know. This is a conservative man. This is a religious man. And he sees and calls it like he sees it, what it is with Donald Trump. He is a threat to the Constitution. He is a threat to the rule of law. His character is not that befitting the office of President of the United States, which we witness on a daily basis, sometimes an hourly basis within every single day. And it's being called out by John Giles. Hopefully, this will give reason, justification for some Republicans in the state of Arizona who are voters of his, constituents of his, people who respect him. This will give them pause. Look, I can only do so much. People in my position can only do so much. It is up to, in large measure, some Republicans out there who do have a loyal group of people who respect and support them, who will be like, oh, well, if Mayor Giles feels this way, maybe I should rethink my position. And there is certainly some percentage, scant might it be, but some percentage out there whose support is evaporatable. There is some ability to have them peel off from being called Trump supporters. You might want to call them, undecided voters, I guess. But, an undecided voter is not undecided until they're undecided. And that's what we're going to see here. I think if everything goes well, apart from all of the legal wrangling and chicanery that's certainly being planned right now by the Trump campaign, you're not paying attention if you think they're just going to straight up try to win the election by voting. They absolutely have dirty tricks that they are going to employ. That we need to be ready for. That's going to be starting probably the weeks leading up to the election. Once mail-in voting starts, once early voting starts, it'll start then. And it's going to go weeks after the election. Mark my words. Remember that I said this. I'll stash this video in a special folder with a timestamp that I said this right now on July 30th, that it's going to begin early and it's going to last longer than you think. We can be guaranteed that. Anyway, what do you think about this? I'd love to know. We can talk about it in the comments. That would be great. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I invite your participation in this conversation. Please consider supporting this work, helping me produce these videos for $2 a month. You can do just that. Click the join button below, become a channel member. Go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'm on the social media everywhere at Dollemore. Again, please. If it wasn't weird, I would get down and beg, but please subscribe. That would be great. I could get there for sure by the end of the week. I know that sounds like a stretch, but I've done it before. I love and appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another.